Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Falcon, used to be Monarch, 914 KIL is what it is. So the Falcon or the Monarch 914 is a KIL, key-in lever. This is an exterior trim for the Falcon, used to be Monarch 19R or 19V. And included in the packaging is installation instructions. The keys, obviously, this is a keyed and lever trim. And here it is. Okay. This is the trim itself. This trim is a classroom trim, meaning that via the key, and you do get two original, Schlage being a sister company of Falcon, of course, you're going to get, you will get Schlage keys with this. It's a 6-pin classic C keyway, drilled 6, pinned 6, okay, two original keys, and they're ordered from the factory handed. They are ordered from the factory as their function. This is the 914 KIL, meaning it's not the 914 KIL NL, which would be a storeroom function. This can be left either unlocked all the time, like it is now, or it can be left locked all the time, and that is controlled via that key on the outside. Now, interestingly enough, all of the functions, the hand and the function can be switched on the device itself, which is really nice. I have a separate video where I talk about how to convert a classroom into a storeroom and storeroom back to classroom on this lock exactly itself, which is linked to down below this video, in fact, so I won't go over it here in this video. If you have need to switch the function, go right ahead. In terms of changing the hand, there's a small little decal on the back that will indicate how to go about switching this. My client has a 19R right-hand reverse. If you'll change it to vertical, okay, or what would be horizontal, I suppose. If you have a 19V right-hand reverse, okay. So according to the installation instructions, what you would do is you would literally pull this out, rotate it, and put it back in place. And there are little gears on the inside of that you can see when we pull that up. And that will just sit down into its place, okay? You make sure that when you rotate it, it actually works. It did seat back to where it was. And there you go. So I've rekeyed this lock to a customer's key, which is a service, of course, that we offer. Client needed it keyed to their existing key. So we have this set up as a classroom function, which is a 914 KL. Okay, inserting the key and rotating it 360 degrees and taking it out now locks it. The reason you would possibly want a classroom function is, so you've got storeroom, always locked, then you've got classroom, which can be always locked or always unlocked, and you control that with the key. The classroom function would be really handy if you need to be able to come into your building, first person in, unlock the door so customers and employees can, come in. At the end of the day, you leave, put the key in, turn it 360 degrees, take it out, and now it's locked, okay? Or you might also say, well, I don't need that functionality. I just want it to be always locked, like the back door of a commercial building on an alley. There'd be no reason for that door to ever be unlocked. It's just emergency exit only. You could certainly just set that into the always locked function. And while you can get in with a key, should you want to, you would then relock it. Okay. Now, this is a very common trim. This has been around for a long time. There is a set of installation instructions with this, which is really just it's really just a template is what it is. It's double-sided, English and Spanish. So the installation instructions, key and lever or key and knob, and it again is just simply it's really a template. You'll drill the modified holes that you are going to require for this device, which are going to be primarily, you'll have a 2 1/8 inch hole, and this will work on existing doors with a cylindrical 161 prep. For doors with existing ANSI cutout, 2 3/4 with a 5/8 projection hollow metal stop, the projection on a typical hollow metal frame is 5/8 of an inch. Fold the template where shown and center over the 2 1/8 inch diameter hole. For non-fire rated rim applications with 2 3/8 backset of 2 1/8 inch hole, must use the 565 strike surface mounted for 1/2 inch stop. So assuming you have typical hollow metal, you'll fold it over here, and I believe what they're wanting you to do is simply center the template over the existing 2 1/8 inch hole is all you're going to do. So you're going to just center this over your hole, and then you're going to mark your 2 through bolt holes, those 7/16 diameter holes. There's a couple of small holes that they need you to drill and tap if you're doing an F, a fire rated 19R. Okay, that would be on the device installation or template itself as to why you need those holes. So the 2 1/8 will already exist, and then you'll drill for these 2 bolt holes, and through the head case on the opposite side is where those bolts will run in and secure itself directly to the exit device trim. Okay. Now let's take a look at the installation instructions for the device that this would come with, so that we can determine not only that, but what the device looks like, but also that F-series to see what those 2 tapped holes are for. So the first question we have is, I wanted to determine exactly what those 2 holes were that are required for an F19R. There's a reference on the template to drilling and tapping 2 1024 holes. The bottom line is, when you're doing a fire-rated device, during the engineering phase of the device itself, it was decided, let's add a couple of screws for the F device, the fire-rated device, to ensure that it's going to pass the requirements of the fire test. You know, fire test is going to run 3 hours in length. You know, within the first, 120 or 180 seconds, that temperature is going to get up to 1700 or 1800 degrees and park there for the next 2 hours and 57 minutes. So you'll need to drill and tap 2 holes into your door when you're doing an F device. That's going to be mandatory for that unit. Now, this trim itself is part of a complement of trim that is available from the factory. Maybe not a complement, but there's more than just lever trim. And let's pull up those other options available to you. Now, there's also a link below this video to a document called the cut sheet that will show us all of the trim. And you'll see that there are plenty of options when it comes to exterior trim. You're going to be able to do escutcheon with knobs or levers. You're going to be able to do pull handles that are just exit only, or blank, or BE, blank escutcheon, with cylinders. You'll be able to do those as well. Cover plates, should you need to close off some sort of a hole or a preparation in the door. Key and lever are there as well. And that document down below will simply allow you to review those different trims. There's also a product catalog, which is nice because it's an overview of the entire 19 series exit devices from Falcon. The rim device, the vertical rod device, the exit device, the fire device are all listed there. Now, the unit itself will incorporate this large back plate that is part of the unit. And I do not see any way that this plate comes off. Well, actually, it probably does. These 2 screws would probably allow you to get that off. I don't see why you would. There's no way to well, there may be a way to install the lever trim without this plate if the underside of the scalp is prepped for that, but not sure why you would ultimately end up doing that unless you didn't like the look of this large plate, which is 6-inch tall. It is 3 11/16 wide. You've got a typical Dane lever is what they would call this. An overall length of that lever is just about 5 1/4 inch or so. Okay, projection off the face of the door looks like it's about 2 7/8. Okay. Looking at this trim, you're probably doing the trim only, but be mindful all of the other links that support this trim are down below, your templates, your catalog, your cut sheet, that video on how to change the function as well. And if you're doing a brand new installation on this, you're going to follow the installation instructions from the exit device itself, which we'll talk about where you're drilling the hole for this. The back set of the hole is going to be dependent on the strike that is being used as well. So the question becomes is what's the standard strike? And the standard strike with the 19 or the for the 19R is going to be their 560 strike. And if you have an F19R, you'll have an F570 strike. Now, when you look at the installation instructions, it will give you the back set. And be mindful that the dimension that they're referring to is from the face of the stop, assuming that you have a 5/8 of an inch projection on your stop. The thickness of the strike, based on your back set or your A dimension, will all conspire to tell you what is the center line of where you're going to consider the reference point of where to drill all of the holes when installing the device. Okay, so easy, simple, and straightforward. The 19 series has been an exit device for many years, decades in fact. I know that it existed in the early 1990s under the Monarch name. I don't know how many years it's existed, but it's been the standard device for Monarch, now Falcon, that has been used for years, now a part of Allegion with its sister company Schlage and LCN and Von Duprin. Another thing that's nice about this trim is the fact that it's backed by a company with exceptional customer service and technical support. I did not, on the F device, per the template, you need those two holes that are, drilled and tapped. The question, why are they there? Why do you need those when the exit device versus the fire device, which are two different devices, one is tested for fire and the other is tested for life safety. Why are they there? The short answer is, well, they were there because that's how it was tested. And the ability to be able to call the factory and get verification of that, and then an expansion on the question of why it's there, is why you invest in your Monarch, now Falcon, and then the other brands. And it's because of their exceptional customer service. Now, there is also with this a little doodad that's included, this little piece of plastic. This piece of plastic is nothing other than a guide that you're going to snap into the little plus sign hub that's in your exit device. And the reason it's there is, and it's probably not going to be an issue on this device, on this trim, but it's a guide in order to help you get the tail piece into where it goes. Not an issue on this, but imagine in your mind's eye, if you're familiar with a rim cylinder and you hold that rim cylinder in your hand, the tail piece hangs down. And if you've ever tried to, if you've installed a rim cylinder with a mounting cup to the back of a NL pull handle trim and then tried to get all of that into the door, and the tail piece, which is hanging down into that very small plus sign of the exit device, it's not fun. You insert this into the plus sign of the head case of the exit device, and then that tail piece will be caught and go right to where it needs to go. And they do have a little installation explanation of what it's used for. So you'll use this for your 19R or your F19R, and it just snaps in place and just helps you get the tail piece home, so to speak. Okay, nice quality trim. Can't think of anything else to discuss. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page, where you can pull up not only all of the Falcon Monarch products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Any questions on the 914 KIL or any other Monarch Falcon product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.